Welcome, everybody. We are trying to answer the question today of whether or not we can build a civilization that stands the test of time. And we're continuing our Persia Let's Play as Xerxes. So, on the last episode, we ended this with our settler, and we've been expanding, our realm's capabilities across the board. Now, I made a few mistakes, though. I had a warrior go down, sadly, over here, but I have another warrior being trained actively as we speak. This warrior hopefully will get experience. I'm going to have him come back in. Come back into our territory, buddy. You did a great tour of duty. And then we'll have them save. And what do we want to do for production? And then I have another scout. So I'm going to, within 3 turns, I'm going to have a scout, two warriors, and then the settler should be pretty well settled. So I think this might be controversial if you're watching this and you're like, why are you doing this? It's so stupid, Misha. Well, I'm a stupid man, but let's have that pause. What I'm thinking, guys, is I think I might want to... I've been going back and forth on whether or not I want to put the city here and kind of lock down this river valley, or if I want to try and go north. The reason I might want to go north here is putting a city here. Look at this location, guys. Look at that location. It's not necessarily the most, attractive location ever. But if I'm thinking about, a chokehold, a point where I want control, first off, this walks out the mountain range for me. In addition, I have resources to the north. I have resources to the south. And then I have these volcanoes. I think I can get volcanic ash, maybe some farmland. I'm not exactly sure. I might be doing that inefficiently, but I think for right now, what I want to do is I think I want to go north here and settle there. Now, I'm going to get a second settler up and running relatively soon. That's probably going to be my plan. So I think what I want to do is I want to try and go for the hanging gardens, if I have that capability or option, because I'm researching the technology of irrigation with a couple turns left. Then my warrior will be done the turn after that. Then I think I want to try for the hanging gardens if it's not an egregious amount of turns. After that, I will go with another settler. Or if the hanging gardens looks like it's going to be an egregious amount of turns or someone else has done it, I will prioritize the settler. So, with that in mind, I thought that I had selected, I've been building stuff here already. Wait, what? Oh, I must not have saved it right at the end. So this saves on every turn. So I think I selected warrior, but it wasn't, going yet. So let's go ahead, because we can't do the wonders yet, right? Yeah, so we ended that turn. I got it. So, warrior. That's what we did at the end of the last episode. So next turn now. Please wait, please wait, please wait. Guys, we have gotten an achievement. Complete 25 turns. Nice. Civic unlocked. Unlocked by this Civic 2. It's Sparda. Be eager in the face of danger. Xenophon. I agree. It's important to be on your toes. So what do I want to do here? Your people are open to a policy change. You may change any of the policies in your government. This can only be done when you unlock a new social policy or a new policy slot. Okay. Okay, so I have to move one from the left here over to the right, and that becomes my social policy until I research another social policy, or I guess, maybe a new government or whatever that gives me more policy slots. I'm kind of picking up how this is working compared to Civ 6 and Civ 5 as I go. That's one of the things that I do kind of enjoy about these game series, like the Sid Meier's games, is even though I feel like a noob, I'm on sovereign difficulty, I'm making mistakes, but even though I feel like a noob, I don't feel so noobish that I, am, figuring out turn-based strategy games completely for the first time. And guys, I paused for a second in my mind because I started to remember the game Civilization. I think it was World. It was Civilization for iPod Touch. What was it? I don't... Sid Meier's Civilization Revolution. And its sequel, Sid Meier's Civilization Revolution 2. Can I play that still? I'm curious. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You probably don't. It's probably a KO game. Well, no, actually, I think I can get this. I can play it on Xbox and PlayStation. Guys, what if I did a Civilization Revolution Let's Play? That is talking about, in terms of a blast in the past. That actually might be fun. I probably going to sort that into the rotation. Anyway, though. Tool making, charismatic leader, or Kara. Kara gives plus 50 production towards training infantry units. Tool making gives plus 1 production and science in the palace, and charismatic leader gives plus 2 culture on the palace. So, I think what I'm going to do for now, I think I want to move to Kara once I get into military mode, which will probably be about 10 turns from now. Right now, I'm still in kind of the build-out mode. I want to get my 3rd city up, and then I want to start cranking out my infantry units. And that also should be my more advanced infantry units. So those units that become available there, I'm going to be able to start putting them into my production queues, hopefully with about 3 cities that have, my core capital, a lot of production, and then my outer cities, bringing at least solid production to get an army up and running. So I think I'm going to stick with tool making for now and confirm. Choose a civic. Satrapides. Does not improve warehouse bonuses on a tile. Must be placed on an existing improvement and cannot be adjacent to another paradisa. Wait, so this is a unique improvement? What does it do? It gives a base yield of plus 1 culture and plus 1 gold. Okay. And it doesn't remove warehouse bonuses on a tile. Okay. Gate of all nations. This is base yield plus 2. Happiness plus 1 war support on all wars. Must be placed adjacent to a district. Hungarian plus 3 gold for every turn. Or we want to do discipline. You have survey, which is plus 1 scout movement and sight. Der Shirakun, which is plus 1 science on fortifications in the settlement. Plus 5 combat strength to fortified districts in all settlements. Acts as a fortified district that must be conquered. Must be placed adjacent to a district. And then Hazara Padis, Persian unique army commander, starts with the initiative promotion and gain a free army commander. Do I want to do discipline or mysticism? There's priesthood, which is plus 2 gold in all settlements. Plus 3 happiness base yield for altar. I'm going to do that. Also, guys, I know I'm reading a lot of this. You are on Misha Turtle Island. We use a turtle for our theme. So if you're going, man, Misha, you're so slow. I know. There's faster Let's Plays, guys, if you want to watch them. There's people that speed run this game. There's people that are way better than me. There's people that probably actually speak even faster than me. I actually think I speak pretty quickly. But you can find them if you want. One of the reasons why I am reading through this more is as I've said repeatedly in this series, I am very, very new to Civ 7. I played a little bit. I had a little bit of a Benjamin Franklin campaign going without commentary over on like a side channel. And I played a little bit of watch a little bit of Let's Plays, I think. But I'm overall, this is my first campaign with gaming commentary, and first one where I'm not trying to save scum if I can. So, I'm learning it, and I want to be playing more. I want to have also a Let's Play running. I think I want to keep this Persian Empire one running on my iPad mini if I can keep it, rather than go back and forth with the iPad Pro. Now, I can't play this on my iPhone 14 Pro Max. You need an iPhone 15 or newer, by the way, if you want to do that. So I'm limited between my iPad mini and my iPad Pro. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another Let's Play, a different civilization on my iPad Pro here. Anyway, though, my point is I go slowly and I'm reading because it helps me understand the game more. So if you're completely new to the game as well, like me, or you're newer, I guess is the best way to put it, I hope that, you're maybe learning along the way with me. And if you feel like you want to try and play this game, again, it's on Apple Arcade. And it's pretty cheap to pick up for Nintendo Switch and other platforms on sale. I've often seen it going for $15, $20 even, if you want to pick it up on Nintendo Switch. Now, I think this probably plays better, if I'm being honest, on an iPad screen, if your iPad is capable of running it. But a lot of older iPads will not run it. That's why I have noticed. You do need to have, I guess, a certain capability of power. Like, this will not run on my 2019 iPad 7th generation with 3 gigabytes of RAM. I love that little iPad that I got as an extra monitor and for watching some movies and whatnot. But, that's a legacy hardware at this point. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, is I think I'm going to choose Discipline here because it's 15 turns. And then I'm going to prioritize Satrapies after that. Maybe that's not the right move, but I want to start Discipline. Command units, you need to heal, buddy. I assume if I just press that wait icon with the heart icon that it will start healing. So that should be good. And then where else are people? Buddy, are you healing? Like, heal. You're going to heal for now. Because there was enemy units that I saw around you. You're not super strong, and I want to try to continue to explore all the way west here. And since I said I don't want to save scum, I was a little bit arrogant with my other warrior here. I had the warrior up here that lost, the warriors, I guess, the one warrior unit of warriors that lost their lives in battle defending the great Persian Empire from the barbarian threats to our northeast. I didn't even think they were at risk of falling in battle. So that caught me off guard. So I want to be careful. It wouldn't be the end of the world if I needed to build another scout. But my scout has already gone probably a solid 5 turns worth of motion of travel here. If it's about, 3 turns or 2 turns with any terrain, like travel. So it would take building a scout. So a turn or 2 of production probably in a little bit. And then 6 turns just to get back here, which is less than ideal. So my option is to heal a bit here, have a little bit of delayed expiration either to the south or the northwest on the frontier. I think that's fine, especially since we are not trying to settle right now a city hyper far away or immediately go to war. Like right now, we are in a pretty comfortable position, I feel like. Go there, buddy. Can you settle? Can you settle the city? Settle the city! Settle the city! There we go, guys! Expansion. Your people have made a new home, providing you with your first town. Like a city, food from this settlement allows you to expand into nearby tiles. However, buildings and units in towns can only be purchased with gold. Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay, well, speaking again, I said I was new. I guess I should have realized this from the Benjamin Franklin video. Maybe I just didn't settle enough cities. But buildings and units in towns can only be purchased with gold. That's actually interesting to me. Now I'm realizing that there's probably more of an economic importance here than I initially thought. You can also spend gold to turn a town into a full-fledged city, though the gold cost is greater the more cities you have in your civilization and decreases as the town grows. Okay. Wow. So a lot to learn there. I don't have enough gold to purchase anything in the treasury right now. I can purchase, I guess, a warrior slinger if I want. I imagine I can't purchase a wonder. Remember, as Sparta is a town, it will not be able to produce anything. Instead, production is converted into gold. You have to convert Sparta to a city in order to have it produce items there. So how do I do that? Upgrading to a city. Towns can be upgraded into cities, but this costs gold. The more population a town has, the cheaper it is to upgrade. Okay. However, the more cities you already own, the more expensive the next upgrade will be. Cost limits. The upgrade cost has a maximum cap of 1,000 gold and a minimum of 200 gold after any modifiers. Okay, so we probably can't afford it right at this moment because we don't even have like 200 gold, right? However, certain unique abilities, UA, and other factors can reduce the cost below 200 gold. Captured settlements. Captured settlements cost double to upgrade, but this charge cannot exceed the 1,000 gold cap. Tip: instead of converting all towns into city, aim to keep at least a 1-to-1 town to city ratio. Okay, so we'll have the decision of what we want to do, whether or not we change that to a town or a city. But one of my primary goals here was to lock down the northern frontier. And it's only been a couple of turns, but we've managed to do that. Grow town, add improvement. Do I get a resource here if I do that? If I put this here on the Oasis thing? Next turn.
The essence of all beings is the earth water, the water plants, plants man, and man speech.
The up echelons. Wonderful. Whenever I see these quotes, I always want to read like historical literature and like, folklore and just parables of different cultures and whatnot whenever I see this. But anyway, tech unlocked irrigation. This should allow us to do the hanging gardens as well as other things. Happiness. Happiness measures your people's satisfaction with you. Settlements send you excess happiness. After enough excess happiness has been accrued, you will earn a celebration. Settlements with negative happiness will receive yield penalties. To earn happiness, settle near fresh water, slot resources that grant happiness, and construct happiness buildings and wonders. Poor settlement management and ongoing wars can reduce happiness in settlements. That's actually something important to know. And that's actually, I think, one of the reasons why the Xerxes abilities are so much favored towards war. The ability to keep happiness and high is probably something very important. You know what's crazy? We still haven't encountered anyone. But what do we want to research for technology? Masonry, writing, or sailing? Well, I still don't think there's much of a reason to prioritize sailing here if we still don't have any cities on the coast. That's why so I think I want to get a city down here, actually, around this area. So not directly on the coast, which is probably not the smartest idea, but I think I want to get it in this area eventually to lock down the southwest flank. But then eventually I do want to have a city here, like in this eastern section for our empire, so we can finally get some water access. Excuse me. So that's my general longer term plan. But since we don't even have the need of a navy right now, we are a landlocked nation, we will not be researching sailing to start with, even as it gets cheaper in terms of a per turn basis. So we can either do writing, which will give the library a base yield of +3 science, +1 science for each adjacent resource and wonder, has 2 codex slots, continuously generate science equal to 25% of the city's production for a research initiative. Okay, and cancels at any time. So as a research initiative, something that you make with another civilization. Am I remembering that right from the Ben Franklin Let's Play? I think. Not exactly sure, I think. Masonry. Ancient walls effect adds 100 HP to the district. All fortified districts must be conquered to capture a settlement. Must be built adjacent to another district with walls or on the city center. Can only be purchased on the city center. Can be purchased in towns. Okay. Monument gives +1 culture for each adjacent mountainous terrain, natural wonder, and wonder. And the monument gives a base yield of +3 culture or +3 music, and then sorry. But I get confused a little bit with the iPad mini version here with kind of the emojis and the words. So it's +3 culture and +2 influence. It allows you to build the Pyramids Wonder, which would be +1 gold in production on improvements in districts on minor and navigatable river tiles in the settlement. Must be placed adjacent to navigatable river, not in tundra. And it's +1 production on mines and quarries. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do writing. I think it's more important for us. We don't immediately need walls right now either. I think we will want walls eventually. But again, we're on sovereign difficulty. Well, words in my mouth. We're on sovereign difficulty, and we already have an army essentially of 2 warriors and 2 cities that are surrounded by mountains. We're literally like Iran, right? Oh, god damn it. Except for the I like caught something in my hand. But we're literally like Iran in that regard. We're like, we have a lot of mountains all around. We just don't have a Strait of Hormuz type waterway to, I guess, leverage or whatever. I guess that's too much real world. We're gonna try and avoid the real world, right? Like we're playing as Persia. I know there's a war going on. I'm trying to be mindful of that. I just wanted to play as Persia because I thought it seemed like a cool set of abilities, and I haven't played this nation before, so that's my motivation for playing. I think I've been pretty sensitive though to the subject that there is war going on. I recognize there's war going on, but choose technology, writing, choose celebration. We love the council day. Social policy slot unlocked oligarchy. This government grants you a choice between the effects during a celebration. Choose 1 bonus for the next 10 turns. Plus 20% food for 10 turns, or plus 30 production towards constructing buildings for 10 turns. Does that apply to wonders? I'm not sure, actually. Is a wonder a building here? I'm going to go figure that out. Guys, I think we're going to make this so it's only been a few turns, I know, but we've had a lot of fun here. I'm going to go research that some more, because I want to try and figure out whether or not I want to go with, again, it's going to be this. So with the food, I think I'm probably going to do the food. The thing is, though, we are going to have this, so let's just show you what my thinking is here, okay? So I'm actively building a warrior unit with 1 turn left. My goal was to then move over to the Hanging Gardens here, which would provide +1 food on farms in the settlement, plus 10% growth rate in all cities, and +1 expansionist attribute point must be placed adjacent to a river. Now, actually, Hanging Gardens, I think that probably is less of a buff than I remember from the Civ 5 version. Civ 5 Hanging Gardens, if I remember right, was like so OP. I think Civ 6 Hanging Gardens is also pretty OP. Hanging Gardens is also something that the AI tends to try and go for when I'm playing in the previous civilizations, but that still is quite a bit powerful. What I'm curious about, though, is if it provides a 30% boost on production towards buildings. If the Hanging Gardens are considered a building, which I don't think they are because they're under wonders, but let's say they are, then for 10 turns, at least during this celebration period, I would have 30% more production. So if it would take about 3 cycles, I would say probably 3 to 4 turns overall over 25 turns. And I'm just thinking from that would probably save on that 3-ish to 4 turns, which probably isn't like, most people are probably going, oh, okay, who cares? But that's interesting enough to me to where it's like, okay, if I'm in a race to get this, and if I'm also was playing at a higher difficulty where I would have to optimize even more, it would be important for me to know. Anyway, though, let's go ahead, do a quick save, and then I'll do another save as well. Just show you guys the save system here. Wonderful. So, guys, thank you once again for watching our new Let's Play, our Civilization VII Let's Play on an iPad mini. We'll be playing as well on an iPad Pro. Another Civilization. If you have an idea for what Civilization you want me to play, feel free to leave it in the comments. I would appreciate it. And as I always like to say, guys, we are a small channel trying to expand, particularly on YouTube. So if you're watching this and you're like, how can I help? I'm not asking you for money. I'm not asking you to go like leave fake comments or whatever. That's not your thing. But what you can do is if you have been watching a few videos, so if you do genuinely like watching something from me, but you're not currently following or subscribed, that's free to do. And it helps me specifically because it tells YouTube that this channel is not just like slop, which I don't think this is slop. I think I'm trying to, be pretty entertaining with this. But the point is that, maybe not entertaining is the right word, but I'm putting effort into this and, trying to tell jokes and talk about, things and have high quality footage and stuff. So like my point is I feel like I'm trying to put stuff here that the YouTube algorithm and YouTube and other sites should not be suppressing and whatnot, because there's a lot of content nowadays that is honestly so awful, that like it's like feeding yourself from a trough in terms of like what you're consuming. So a lot of stuff I realize should probably be deboosted and whatnot. But what YouTube and other sites use to help tell them what good content is when people who are watching do follow or subscribe. So if you are one of those people, I would appreciate it. Tells YouTube just a little bit of a green flag. This guy is not trying to abuse the platform, whatever. He's trying to actually upload real videos in real series. And I hope you do appreciate those series. Anyway, my name is Misha Turtle Island. Find us across various channels online, including YouTube. We are out.